Pleased to meet you here today and thanks for coming down to my shed, or as some people would like to call it, a studio. It's not far from a studio. But anyway, this is where all my bits and pieces happen anyway, or most of them. I started it about 2012 when I was care for my mum, and I was going to have quite a bit of time on my hands around her house, and I thought to myself, I need to get myself into something that I like to be doing, I always had an interest in creative stuff, so and I said, well, maybe I'll buy myself a lathe, and if I did that, because as a little boy I visited my uncle down in Waterford, and that was my first introduction to wood turning. There was one of the monks in the monastery in Mount Melbury did wood turning, and I said, well, I would like to have a go with that at some stage. It took me quite a while, well over 40 years before I did it, but anyway I did. There's words being used nowadays by the young kids that never fitted into my life as a child.
Yeah.
For example, boredom, bored, and I was never bored.
Yeah.
My whole life, as a child or an adult. And another word that struck me as new to child's vocabulary and shouldn't be used in a child or an adult's vocabulary is can't. I ask people when they tell me they can't do it, I say, well, have you ever tried? And the vast majority of those people say no, they've never tried it. Well, you don't know that you cannot do it. As a child, my ambition, they used to ask children back in those days, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I used to tell them I wanted to be an astronaut. As you know, Local Hands is a cooperative, some very talented painters, Barry Sweeney, and of course Barry Britton, very talented artist as well, Jim McIntyre. All of those guys they're an inspiration to anyone that's interested in crafting, Never unemployed, never needed to be. If they were looking for a scaffolder one day, I was a scaffolder. If they were looking for a steel fixture, the next day I was a steel fixture. If they were looking for a carpenter, I was a carpenter. I never thought myself a master of anything, but I was pretty good at most of them.